Okay, guys, I wanted to go through nested loops with you, and I actually wanted to demo the e-letter program with you guys. When I read the prompt, I had to go look at some of your code to even think about how to do it, just because you would never use a nested for loop to create that E code. Let me show you what I did just real quick, and it probably makes a heck of a lot more sense than what you guys programmed. But basically, there's 5 rows, so I said something like int row equals 1, and then row is less than or equal to 5, row plus plus. And then all I did is I said if my row modulus 2, if that equals 1, meaning modulus checks to see if there's a remainder. So if that equals 1, then I did a system.out.println, and I did a, this is just how I did it in my mind right off the bat, and I kept looking at your guys' code going, huh, why would you use a nested for loop for this? Anyway, this is not my this E program is not my standard material that I use at school. I actually need to get rid of this. And then what do you do at the end? System.out.println. But this would check to see if it's an odd row, starting at 1. If it's an odd row, then print 3 stars. It's an even row, print 1 star. So there's my E. Okay. Anyway, what I really wanted to show you guys, I really wanted to demo a good way to use nested for loops, and what I've been using for years. Let me show you. So different types of triangles. We got 4 different types of triangles that we can create here. Ones that can look like this one, the first one, the second one. The third one actually starts with blanks and then starts building your triangle. And the second one also starts with blanks. So we'll start off with this first one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. Okay. So there's 10 rows. What I do is I like to think about rows and columns. So I say int row equals 1, because we start at 1, and I'll say row is less than or equal to 10, and then row plus plus. Okay. Now I'm going to make this look real easy because I've done this for a real long time, so I can see it happening in my head. Nested for loops take some time to really learn. If you're sitting at your computer pounding keys and getting frustrated, I went through it, and I don't have necessarily an easy way to do this except practice and practice some more. And after you get tired of it and it still doesn't work, then you still need to practice them. So like I said, I've been doing this for a while, so it just kind of comes easy to me. But the way I think about it is then, so we're going to build our rows, and then we got to build our columns across. I'll just say col equals 1. Okay. And if this is row 1 and this is equal to 1, and this is row 10 and it's equal to 10, then what we start off with our column, we start off at 1, and then we go 1, 2, and then we go 1, 2, 3. Okay. And so we're in row 1, and we've got 1 column. We're in row 2, we've got 2 columns. Row 3, 3 columns. So what I do is I say column is 1, and then column will be less than or equal to row here. Okay, and then we'll do col plus plus. So the first time through, column's 1, row is 1. So then we print 1 star. And then for each row, we've got to do a new line. So we print ln for a new line. So second time, so if that's the first time through, it prints 1 star. Row then gets 1 gets added to row, so it becomes 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 10? That's true. Column gets reset to 1. So is 1 less than or equal to 2? Yep. So print 1 star, and then 1 gets added in the column. Column becomes 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 2? Then print a star. So looks like we've got our algorithm built. And does that look like what we got for the first one? Yep. Okay, looks good. So second one, we're gonna start off, we start with stars. We're not worrying about blanks on the second one either. So the second one, I'm gonna put a couple println lines in between, so I got a for loop. And for the second one, same thing, I say row is equal to 1, and row is going to be less than or equal to 10, row plus plus. Okay. Now, let's look and see what's going on here. With this one, we first start off with column at 10. There's 10 columns in it, and then it goes 9, 8, 7, 6, so on, okay? And so what I like to do for that is the way I like to think about this is, let's see here. I'm going to do call, and I'm going to set that int call, whoops, for int call equals 10, and then I'm going to say column or call is greater than or equal to row. Okay, so first time through calls 10. Is 10 greater or equal to 1? Yep. And then so we print a star. Okay. And it will print 10 stars. And then it will come back up. Let's do this. Let's put our... It'll come back up. Row will become 2. Column gets set to 10. Is column greater or equal to 2? Yep. So then it will do this all the way through. So there's 9, and then 8, and then 7, and 6. So let's run it and see. Yep. There's our second one right there. Our first one displayed still. Our second one, does it look like it? Yep. And so again, notice you're subtracting basically 1. It only row's growing by 1 each time. So row starts off at 1, and so is 10 greater or equal to 1? Yep, and it does that 10 times. And then row gets added up, and so it's now equal to 2. So now 10 is greater or equal to 2. That's true, and so it does that 9 times, and then 8, and then 7. This kind of thinking where you're using your condition right here and you're using row from the outer loop, again, that takes some time and some practice. I have students that can figure this stuff out almost instantaneously. For whatever reason, their brains work that way. For me, it definitely took a lot of trial and error and a lot of time to kind of think through how that stuff worked. Okay, so the next 2 triangles are a little bit different because we actually have blanks, and so this is going to have an outer loop with 2 inner loops. Okay, so I do my outer loop. Same thing, int row equals 1, row is less than or equal to 10, row plus plus. And the first thing I print in this one are blanks. So I do a for int blanks, and I'm going to set my blanks equal to 10, and then let's see what my blanks are doing. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nine blanks, and then a star. So the way I like thinking about that is I say my blanks is 10 minus my row. And blanks are going to be greater than or equal to 1. Gotta print my blanks. And then I gotta do my columns. So int call, and call is gonna be equal to 1. And again, I'm just gonna do the same thing as I did in the first one up here. I'm gonna say my call is less than or equal to my rows. Okay, because I'm going to print as many columns as there are rows. So I add those up. I print my star in there. Okay, let's see, it should work fine. Yep. Okay, so that's this one, so it prints 9 blanks, because 10 minus 1 is 9, 9 is greater or equal to 1, and so then it does that. Then it prints is 1 less than or equal to 1, yes, so it prints a star, then column becomes 2. 2 is not less than the 1, so it prints a blank line, comes back up, row becomes 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. So it prints 8 blanks up here, and then it's done with that, and then it prints, 2 columns. So anyway, the algorithm on that looks good. Okay, and so last one. Okay, last one. Same thing. I got my int row equals 1, row is less than or equal to 10, row plus plus. Okay, for this one, let's look and see what's happening real quick. So we're printing stars, and then and then we're printing well, we start off, we don't have any blanks, so we got to account for that. So let's look at that. So we got a 4, and the way I'll take care of that, I'll say int blanks is equal to 1, and I'm going to say blanks is less than row blanks plus plus. So first time through, row is 1 and blanks are 1. Is 1 less than or equal, or is is blanks less than row? Is 1 less than 1? Nope, so it skips it the first time. And then what do we do? Whoops. I meant to say 4 int column. In this case, we start off with 10 columns, so column's 10. And column needs to be greater than or equal to row, which row is 1 the first time, so we'll print 10. And then by the time we get to the last one, row will be 10, and is 10 greater than or equal to 10? Yes, so it'll only do it 1 time. So let's say call minus minus. I screwed up here, that should be print. Okay. Let's see if that works. I think it's good. Yep, there you go. So what I would suggest with these, if you guys want to get really good, I tell my high school kids, this is the hardest part of my intro to programming class. I have some kids that are able to do them. Most of the class can't. But I tell them, if you want to get real good in programming, if you can figure out how to do these quickly in your head, you'll get real good at programming real quick, because you can kind of see there's multiple things moving pretty much instantaneous. And yeah, so practice that, and I threw up some worksheets too. So practice those worksheets. I'll put this up on the in the video section. So enjoy.